Cool. Okay, today we're going to talk about a lot of graphing and lots of algebra. Yay! So please ask questions if you have them and do the best you can to participate. Okay, the best that you can. Okay. So let's do a little refresher there. How would I fill in that chart? If that's my function that I want to graph, y equals 3x minus 6, how would I fill in the table to sketch out a graph? What do you guys think? Like if they give me a table of values there and there's an x and there's a bunch of x values, what do I do? Like how do I even approach this? Yeah, Grant and Callie, very good. The idea is we would take all of these x values and plug them into that function to get a y. And then every one of these points represents an ordered pair. Okay, so if x is -2, we would go 3 times -2, which is -6, minus 6 is -12. And then that means that this point here would be -12. And then my first ordered pair that I would put on my graph is -2, -12. Now, I don't think this graph goes up to -12, so you don't have to worry about that. If I were you, I would use Desmos. I would. So we have 3x minus 6. So I would type in 3, and then the parentheses, minus 6. Okay, we just did -2. Now let's try -1. Bam! It's -9. So we could go. So then, wait. Trying to manipulate too many screens here, you guys. So then I would put in a -9. And then my next point that I would graph is -1, -9. I could put in a 0. I would get -6. And all this is it's plugging in a different x value every time to get your y. Ooh, wrong line. If I plugged in a 0, I would get 3 times 0 is 0 minus 6. You could plug in a 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Minus 6 is -3. A 2. 6 minus 6 is 0. Or a 3. 9 minus 6 is 3. So we have some points that we could graph there. Okay. And then we could plot those out. Ooh, looks like someone is doing that already. Yay, thank you. Keep graphing. Keep going. Yeah, we're kind of getting our line in there. Remember when we plot points, this is my x, this is my y, this is the -x, this is -y, this is the origin, or the point 0, 0. And I probably shouldn't put a point there because we don't want to confuse. And this person has drawn more than enough points to make a perfect line. Although the teacher probably needs to work on how she draws it. There we go. I got this. There we go. Okay, you guys remember that? What's another way that we have to graph? What else did we talk about with graphing? instead of plotting all those points, what else could we do? Starts with an S, rhymes with rope.
Slope.
Yeah, we could use the slope. You got it. So this is also written in slope-intercept form. Okay, oh, that's our week. We'll go back to it. This is also in slope-intercept form. Okay, you guys remember? Y equals mx plus b. That's like the formula for slope-intercept. That plus b is your intercept. It's where the graph crosses the y-axis. And ours was -6. So that means our graph crosses the y-axis at -6. And then our slope, it's that number hiding in front of x. And since we had a +3, yeah, it's good. Good to kind of rehash there. Since we had a +3, and it's a whole number, all whole numbers are over 1. That means from that y-intercept, we go up 3, and then right 1, and then put another dot. Okay, so today, we're going to kind of go back and forth between the two. You guys have 4 assignments due this week. Live lesson you've already done, so good for you. If I were you, I would get this guy out of the way right away. Okay, it's just the math mindset thing. I know a bunch of you have done it already. I've had a few of you attempt these. Great job. But after the live lesson, I would go back and correct those. And that way you can hand in 100%. So that's what I would do. That is the greatest way, by the way, to handle these live lessons. Okay? Well, ideally, you should have a math assignment per day. This one is super fast. This one will go just as fast. These two might take you a little bit more time, but they're totally doable. I think this one was the most challenging for everybody. At least what I heard. But we'll go through it today. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, yeah, Aiden, I think so. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to write an equation if you're given a graph into slope-intercept form, okay? So when you write this equation, there are some things that you will always, always, always have, okay? Every single slope-intercept equation is going to have a y and an x. Those are 2 things you could write right away. And then from the graph, you're going to read your y-intercept and your slope. So the first thing is we're going to read that y-intercept. So we want to look and say, where is it crossing that y-axis? At what number? So that's the first thing we look at. Oh, you're right. Good point. Good point. There are 3 things that you will always, always put down. Y equals x. That's good. Okay, so where does this line on this graph, where does that cross the y-axis? At what number? And this is where I need 100% participation here. And remember, if you don't want to type, write it right on the screen. Because then I can't tell who it is. Ooh, I like the 4. I like that part. Yeah, it is crossing at -4. Very good. So it's actually crossing at when y is -4. And whenever you have an intercept, what is that x value going to be? Because remember, every coordinate point has an x and a y. Yep, it's 0. Very, very good. So the y-intercept is at 0, -4. So that means at the end of my equation, I'm going to write -4. Perfect. Now I have to worry about that slope. okay? So slope, remember, you start at the y-intercept and you figure out how to get to the next point on the right. And you have to go up or down first. So what do you guys think? Would I go up or down to get to that next point? Oh, someone's writing stuff. Someone wrote up. Yeah, up. Very good. You're right. I would go up. And looks like this person thought up 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. That's absolutely correct. So the first part of my slope is 3. And then it looks like we go to the right 1. So my slope is 3 over 1. But for my final answer, I'm going to say just 3. 3x minus 4. That's my equation. Does that make sense, guys? You're just reading the slope and the y-intercept off of the graph and sticking it in the right spot. That's the objective. Any questions on that?
No.
No, no questions? Beautiful. Okay, so now I would like you guys to do that. It looks like there are some choices down there for you. You could use those, or you could just read it off the graph. Remember, what stays the same is the y, the equals, and the x. All you guys are doing is figuring out what's at the end and what's in front of the x. So go ahead and think it through. You can put it in chat. You can write it on the screen, whatever you think. You can circle it down there. Oh my gosh, where's that from, Aiden? That's got to be from somewhere. That's an interesting statement there. Oh, excuse me. Prepare to die. Okay, so it looks like someone thinks it's -4, or excuse me, I said that weird. Y equals 1/3 x minus 4. That's what someone thought. Yeah, someone else wrote it in orange. It's very good. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Let's check that. So it looks like it's crossing the y-axis 1, 2, 3, 4 at 0, -4. So -4 is definitely going to be our y-intercept. And if you go up 1 and then to the right 3, you get to that next point. So it has a slope of 1/3. Very, very good. Y equals 1/3 x minus 4 is the equation. Questions on that? Okay. Remember, when you're finding the slope, it's super easy to get confused and think about going to the right first and then up. And if you did that, you would get a slope of 3 over 1, and that would be incorrect. Remember, you have to go rise or fall over run. So it's either up. Why is it my... Oh, there we go. It's either up or down over a movement to the right. Good. Good stuff, guys. Great work. Okay, so sometimes you got to find an equation given a table, and it kind of works the same way. Okay, it seriously does. What's going to be the same all the time is that y equals x. And your job remains the same. You have to find the y-intercept and the slope. Okay? So how would I look on a table and find a y-intercept? How would I do that? What would tell me I have a y-intercept? What number would I be looking for? Yeah, I'm going to look at the y column, but actually the x clues me in onto if I, yes, this is perfect. Great job. That looks really weird what I just drew. But yeah, we would actually be looking for a 0. We would be looking for when x equals 0, because that's when you have a y-intercept. But we don't have a 0 here, so how could we figure out what x's 0 would be? We have a 1. Yeah, look at the chart. Someone's writing something awesome there. Keep it going. Yeah, everything on the chart, yes, and the slope is even the clue of that. The numbers are changing by 3 every time, okay? So if I want to figure out what y is when x is 0, yeah, it would be 1. I would just have to take the y value when x is 1 and subtract 3. Yep, and that tells me my y-intercept is 1. So at the end of my equation, it would be plus 1 because that is my y-intercept. That's where my graph crosses that y-axis. Good. Does anybody remember how to find slope? We kind of already did. Remember, slope is the change in y over the change in x. Or it could be calculated with y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Remember that? Oh, it looks like this person is maybe plotting some of the points to count it out. You can do that. That works. Totally. It's just, depends on what resources you have. It really does. Very good. So what do you guys think my slope would be? How is my y changing compared to how my x is changing? How did we say the y's were changing? As you go from left to right, how are the y's changing? It's on the screen. You guys already figured it out. Yeah. Well, we got to figure out what it would be. I know this part's kind of confusing because you actually already figured it out. You did. You figured it out already. But we got to just put some meaning behind it. So look at how you guys, someone put it. Yeah, very good. Good job. I totally agree with that. Nice job. So we actually already figured out that the y's are changing by 3. Every time you're adding 3. So the change in y is 3, and all of the x's are changing by 1. You're adding 1. And remember, you always go left to right. Because if you went right to left, you'd be subtracting, and that's a little more confusing. But every time you're adding 1. So it's a 3 over 1 slope, which is just 3. You could also use this formula. So you take 2 y's and subtract them. So let's take 10 and 7. 10 minus 7 is 3 over the 2 x's they matched up with. 3 minus 2. So you get 3. No, you know what's difficult, Aiden? It's really hard to see how it's changing and be like, oh, that's the slope. It's hard to do that. Doesn't mean you're blind. It just means it can be confusing. So, yeah, good job. Any questions on this? So we looked for when x was 0, That told us our y-intercept, and we found the slope by finding how the y's are changing compared to how the x's are changing. Okay, if you do that and you're like, whoa, that's confusing, I have a question, just let me know. Okay, let's talk point slope. Point slope. So shake it off. Could wiggle a little bit. You want to look at some cute kitties? My kitties are snuggling. There's some kitties. They're snuggling. So cute. Okay. Now I ruined their snuggle time. Okay. So, thank you. I needed one awe in order to stop. Okay, so what I would write in your notes is you're going to want to write point slope equation. And this is what it is. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So it's a different way of writing an equation, and this is what you use when you're given a point and the slope. Oh, so weird. They like lock their heads and now they're biting on each other's necks. They're weird. My cats are weird, but that's okay. I'm weird too, so I embrace it. So, okay, so what you guys should have written down is point slope equation. You should have this equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's what you guys should have written down. So now, in order to write the point slope equation, we just have to know what we're putting in. Okay, so what's going to stay the same every time that we don't have to put any values in for is going to be the y, the equal sign, the minus, the equal sign, the parentheses, the x. That's what's going to stay the same all the time. You guys have to put in the y1, the m, and the x1. That's what your job is. But we know what m is. What does m mean? What does m stand for? M is our slope. Yeah, very good. And in number 1, our m is 5/2. So all that we have to do, it's rise over run. That's right. All we're going to do is we're going to take that m and we're going to put it right in front of the parentheses because that's the spot for m. Okay, so we got our m. Now we got to fill in our point. So here's our point that they gave us. What is the x of that point? What is the x of the 3, -2 ordered pair? That's not my x. No problem.
The 3.
It's 3. Yeah, very good. The 3 is the x. Don't forget, this is a common thing to confuse. It's always x comma y. Same order it is in the alphabet, right? Yeah. So we're going to take that x and we're going to put it in for x1. It goes right next to the other x. Okay? And that means the other one is my y. So I'm going to take that y and put it in next to the other y. Only now I have to do one last tiny little thing to simplify the first part of my equation. What should I do? What just doesn't look right? What looks kind of weird? Yeah, it's in that part. You're totally right. It's actually going to be right here. What am I going to change that minus to? Yeah, not plus minus. They both go to a plus. Definitely. Plus positive. Yeah, two negatives always go together. My daughter says together to make one positive. So that's the only thing you got to watch for. Good. All right. Oh, you sassy cat. Quit it. Okay. So let's do the next one. So this is the part that stays the same every single time. Potato. Oh, you guys, calm down. My goodness, they're being sassy, hissing at each other. Okay, so what is my slope in number 2? -7. And where should I put that -7? Can someone fill it in for me in the right spot? Perfect. It goes right in front of the parentheses. I love that. Now we need that point. Okay, let's fill in our y first this time. Which one's my y? In that point. Yep, the 9. The 9 is my y. And where does that go? Perfection. It goes next to the other y. Very good. Now last, I have to fill in that x. Okay, so go ahead and someone fill in that x for me. What number goes in the spot next to the x? What do you guys think? There's only one other number. Yes. Yep. Very good. And because that's my y, that's totally my y, right? Because every ordered pair is x, y. And because that 9 is in the y spot, it goes with that other 9. So now my x is in the right spot. I just have to do my very last step. And what do I do with that minus minus? Yeah, we're going to change the whole thing to plus, right? It's going to be plus 5. Yep, very good. Good job. Okay, let's look at number 3 real quickly. Number 3, we don't have a slope. Darn it. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do in number 3 there? How can I get a slope from those 2 points? Oh, I erased someone's writing. I apologize. I didn't mean to. That was unintentional. Yes, you guys are right. Very good. Look at that, simultaneous equation writing. Look at that, perfection. Good job, you guys. Yeah, and it's actually, the classic formula is y2 minus y1, but it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. You just got to make sure you do it the same every time. So in these 2 points, what would be our y1? What's our first y value? Grant, you got it. Very good. What's our first y value? Yup, it's definitely 0. That would be, and Grant, that 3 that you did, Grant did the formula this way, which is totally fine. Grant did y2 over y1. Oops. X, that's a weird X. I apologize. So he says it should be 3 minus 0. And we'll get the same answer either way. Okay, and then Grant, what would you subtract on the bottom? Because it's 6 minus 2. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Nope, that's right. That's good. See how this one and this one are like completely flipped? That's fine, because watch this. We're going to get 3 over 4, right? And in this one, we get -3 over -4. But what's going to happen to those two negatives? They're going to turn positive, right? So we get a slope of 3/4. Great job, you guys. Good work. So you got to use that slope formula to find the slope between those 2 points. Now we can just fill it in. And it does not matter which point we use. I would use, let's use 6,3, just because, you know, I don't want to confuse anybody with the 0, but you can use that one too. So I'm going to fill it in to my formula. Good. And what am I going to put in there for my, what goes in front of the parentheses? Yep, 3/4. Okay, I need a y value to go next to this other y, and an x value to go next to this x. And you can use the x and the y from either one of those points, and we have decided to use 6,3. So that means the 6 goes next to the x, and the 3 goes next to the y. Very good. And we have our point slope formula. Yay! Does that make sense, my friends? Okay, did I kill anybody with algebra yet? We're not going to talk about that.
No, not yet.
Good. Oh, good, good. I have more. No, I'm just kidding. If I lose you, if you're going through this, let me know. I am at my computer. I will answer any questions. I gotcha. Okay? I actually caught up all the grades. Yeah, I know. Shock. But I did. Except for what was handed in like last night and today, but I will do that right away. Okay, so you guys know slope intercept. You know point slope now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to start in point slope and convert it to either slope intercept or standard form. Okay, standard form is when both the x and the y are on the same side. And this did cause a little bit of confusion with what I saw. So, and don't forget, when you have a vertical line, it's always x equals a number. And when you have a horizontal line, it's always y equals a number. But we're not going to convert with those two. We're just going to convert with the bottom 3. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a point slope formula and change it to slope intercept. Okay? So we are given a slope and a point. So I'm going to put it into my formula here. Can you guys fill in my slope and my point for me? Please? Can you? Please, please? And we're almost done. There's like one more slide after this, I believe. Yep, slope goes in front of the parentheses. Very, very good. -4 is my y, so that goes next to the y. And 5 is my x. Great job. And since we have that double negative, we're going to turn them both positive. So there's my point slope. Excellent. Oh, that's okay. No problem. Oh, did I clear it, Aiden? Do you need me to go back? I can go back.
No, I
Okay, I'm happy to go back. Let me know. Seriously, guys. It's all for you, my friends. Okay, sorry. I won't do that again. All right,
don't
so
have to.
so now what I want to do is I want to take this and convert it to slope intercept form. And that is that y equals mx plus b. So it's got to be kind of like uber simplified there. I got to have just a y on one side. So let's take a look at our equation here. What do you guys think I'm going to do first? how would I start simplifying this? I'm definitely going to do my thing where I bring down the line. We are not sponsored by Uber. Uber freaks me out because I don't like it when strange people pick me up, but I'm not a city gal, so, you know, it's how it is. So, okay, what do I do first here, guys? What am I going to get rid of? Because I want to get that. It's just algebra now, pure equation solving. How do I get that y by itself? Yes, I definitely do want to subtract that 4, okay? And I'm going to put it on the other side too. But now look what we have. We have y equals 3 x minus 5. I can't combine the 4 and the 5 yet because that minus 5 is in parentheses. And this, while it looks pretty cool, it doesn't quite match that. So what do I do to further simplify my equation? But you guys are right. We moved the 4 over. Perfection. Good stuff. How do I get rid of those parentheses? It's a property. Starts with D. Rhymes with ibutive. It's not very good rhyming there. Yep, that's what we're going to do first. How do we do that? Oh, that looks good so far. I'm liking it. Looks like this clever person multiplied 3 by the x there. Oh, this is so good. And then they multiplied 3 times the 5. Very good. The negative 5. Yup. And then that minus 4 is still at the end. Okay, then we got to take it one step further. And what is my y-intercept going to be? What is negative 15 minus 4? Yay! Oh, so good. Very good. We would combine those like terms and we get negative 19. Good job, guys. Good work. Yay. So good. And then I'm in slope intercept form and I am done, my friends, with that one. Good work. Questions on that? I can always undo if I need to go back. Any questions? You have to say no questions so I know you're alive out there. Say no questions. Callie says no questions. Nick, no. Good. If Billy lost 15. Oh, wait. Someone said no questions. Good. That's right. I like that reasoning there. Guys, you want to see something? My daughter has this unicorn toy, and we just realized that it makes pooping noises. It's so weird. It's like a magical unicorn. And then, wait. Did you guys hear that? Isn't that weird? I'm like, why would you make... Yeah, but I'm like, why would they make a unicorn and then have it be all magical? And then my girl brain would be like, unicorns don't fart. How dare you? They're magical.
That's not the unicorn I know.
How dare... What? What is up with that? Yeah. That's... Oh, so offended. Okay. Anyway, this is our very last example. So stay awake. Stay with me. We're going to do it together because we're all in this together. Right? We got this. Poor Billy and his stolen pizzas. Now I want pizza for lunch. Thanks. Oh, I need pizza. Okay. So first thing is we want to put this into point slope form because that's going to help us get to standard form where x and y are on the same side, not slide. So here's our point slope form. We have y minus, then the equals. Okay, so can you guys fill that info in for me? We got to fill in our slope and then the y point and the x point. Oh, it's looking awesome. I see a yellow slope going in there. Very good. I feel like a race commenter. And we have the slope, and now we're waiting for the y, and now we're waiting for the x. Oh, we've got the x in there. Yeah, that's so good. Now we need the y. Oh, perfect. Sorry. Perfect. Very good. Last thing we're going to do is then we're going to change those to plus signs. Yep. Big plus signs. Good. Now we need to get that into slope intercept form, and that's where we get the y by itself. And it's important to do that first. Don't confuse yourself and don't go to standard form right away. You got to go to slope intercept form first. So what would I do with this equation to get that y by itself? What do you guys think we should do? Just like the last one we did. Yep, let's subtract that 7. I totally agree. Oh, and I love that this person wrote it over there. Very smart. So that leaves us with y equals -9. And you know what, guys? I usually don't subtract or add the number first, but I kind of like doing it this way. Oh, sorry. I'll get rid of my 7. I kind of like doing it that way. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like doing that first? Because then you don't forget to bring it over. It's good. I like it. Yep. Then we are going to bring the y down. And it looks like this person is very cleverly distributing. So sorry, guys. I did not put my phone on silent. I keep forgetting to do that. Ugh. Very good. Very good. Yep, this person is distributing by multiplying that number in front of the parentheses. The -7's at the end. That's good. Then we simplify a little bit further. And we're going to put our y-intercept. Yeah, -79. Perfect. What do you guys think about that? Do you agree? Does that look good? I think it looks good. Yes? Do we agree? Yes, this person agrees. Callie agrees. Good, good stuff. Okay, now, very last thing that we have to do is we have to convert it to standard form. And that's when we have x and y. Oh my gosh, we got this. Watch this, guys. It's gonna be amazing. Your minds are gonna be blown. So we're going to put the x and the y on the same side. So the y is already on a good side. How do I move that -9x over to the other side? The whole thing. So we don't want to separate the -9 times the x. We want to keep that. How do I move that whole thing over? Get him on his good side, right? He's negative over here. So when he goes to the good side, how's he going to turn? What's he going to turn? What's he going to do?
Who you gonna call?
He's what? Oh, who are you going to call? Yeah, that's what you said. Who are you going to call? What do you guys think? What's the opposite of that -9x? Remember in algebra, when you move stuff around, you're always doing opposite operations there. And right now we have a -9x. Yeah, Callie, good. So we're going to add 9x. We don't want to change it to positive there. We want to add 9x to the bottom. Because then that would cancel out my 9x's on that side. And on the left side, I'll have 9x plus y. And I'm going to rewrite that because I wrote that really weird. So we have 9x plus y equals that negative 79. And that is in standard form because x and y are on the same side. They're on the same side, guys. They're friends. All right. Friends and neighbors, that's all I have for you today. That's all I got. So you are free to go. Someone was just like, sweet, I'm out of here. I heard that.